Hello and welcome back to Gabo Sport. It's the end of the season, and that can only mean one thing. It is our annual award show. I'm joined by a returning legend who's got some bones to pick, plus our two most consistent performers throughout the 24-25 campaign. So keep it locked with Gabos.
Gabos. The name of the game is Gabos. Game ain't based on sympathy. If you got sympathy in this spot, you ain't gonna never make it.
Yes. What's happening, people? How's it going? Thank you for joining us on another episode of Gabos. A few of the faces here gonna need no introduction, but I'm gonna do it regardless. It's not looking good, bruv. In the Boca Juniors top, what are you saying, Booty?
Chilling, man. Just somber end to a very dead season for us. So yeah.
I mean, look, don't try and suck out the energy of the room just yet. Moving swiftly on, Mr. 100, Mr.
Yes,
Basma.
man. You know what's funny? You wouldn't know what year Booty this podcast was recorded in because it could have been 2022, 2023, 2024, and has been the same end of season reaction from an Arsenal fan. But,
Netflix. It'll be
but it's good to be back, man. I'm excited for these awards. Off topic, you know our little intro song. I always, as I've listened to it, I'm singing along, man. I love it. I love it, bro. But anyway, man,
Yes,
good
man,
to be here.
Don't let M. Huncho know because he's been getting no royalties from this, man.
Yeah. Good time. Sure, we're gonna get it cracking.
Yeah, of course. Abs is
for
back.
one reason,
I mean,
guys. I'm back
Go
for
on.
one reason only. Last year I said a bunch of takes, and look at that. Just as timely, everyone's gone quiet. All of a sudden, the room is realized that a lot of the predictions that I said last year, have come to fruition. So I've named myself the truth today.
he's back for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, to rub some salt into our wounds. He's turned up to his haters' funeral. He's trying out all the cuisine. He's looking like he's ready to enjoy himself. But look, I want to kick off with a debate we sort of touched on in the group chat earlier this week, and I think it's probably going to be our first award. We don't go with a casual Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, who's a young player. Yeah, no, we talk about more serious stuff. All right, so today what I want to talk about for our first award is the System Player of the Year award. All right, I want to talk about a guy who, in my opinion, this is who I'm nominating for it, and I'm going to let people take it away. All right, and I know one other person in this chat is going to at least agree with me, but I think this is probably one of the most controversial ones. So let's get it started. The System Player of the Year award. This is a guy who, you try and move him around, you try and get the best out of him, you try and tweak him, you try and do this, you try and do that, but really and truly gets carried, right? And my nomination for the System Player of the Year award is last season's Player of the Season, England's perennial future superstar, Mr. Philip Foden. That's what I'm starting with. Boys, it's been a howler of a campaign. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let you debate. But it's been an absolute howler of a campaign. Who wants to jump in and back me or provide the counter?
Listen, man, one thing I'm going to say, I don't want to jump in first, besides this one comment, because I want to hear what these sick guys have to say first. These sick fellas that probably agree with you, because I know they're Foden haters, yeah? The one thing I want to say, wait. The people watching, I've said this time and time again about my co-hosts and my friends and we are irrational folks. We have to go extremes. The Eagle introduced Foden as last year's player of the season, but now this guy is a garbage system player. How could one man go from that to the other extreme? Only on Gabo Sport, bro. I just want to say that. I want to hear what Judy and Abs have to say, and then I'll defend my guy. hands up, shit campaign, but I'll defend him because I think it's too much disrespect now. But let me hear.
The whole fucking award last year was a whole bagger for Gazy. You don't believe he was the player of the year, and no one here believes he was the player of the year. And Igal said he was a nominee. Bruv, there's no other nominees. It starts with Foden and ends with Foden, bruv. He's the only guy that is up for this award. Bro, last season was his best season. He wasn't shit. He wasn't the player of the year. He was good. I'll give him that, yeah? But he was definitely not player of the year. Yeah, let's get that.
Hold on. It wasn't player of the year. Was he top 5?
No.
No, I don't think so. Because
Okay. Was he top 10? Was he top 10?
I'll sneak him in. I'll sneak him in to the potentially the top 5.
Because top 5 or even top 10, you're not a good player, brother. If you're top 10 that season, you had a very good campaign. If he's top 5, he had a very, very good campaign. Carry on. We have to be facts here, man. We have to be factual.
All right, cool. Without KDB coming back to that team last year, holding his hand to another Premier League, he ain't doing shit, brother. And that's a fact. He came back. KDB came back on that Newcastle game, and you could see, bruv, Foden's panties, they started to rise, bruv. He can't do nothing about his daddy holding his hand, bruv, yeah? Like, unlike the other brother from London that has to carry everyone in his back. When it's time to carry,
and you know,
bro, and last season
look
was
how
the only season he actually could chat to Saka. Other than that, whether it's international tournaments, league campaigns, even in Europe, they kept saying to Saka, "Oh, when you get to the Champions League, we can't chat to you until you do it in the Champions League."
What did he do?
He surpassed Foden's performance in the Champions League.
Oh, that is it, man.
Oh, Foden the Bernabeu, where are you? Where are you? Nothing.
Facts.
Bayern Munich.
He's not a big game player. Look, Baz. Can you agree with that though, Baz? Because look, he's saying something factual to you, and this is what we were arguing about in the group chat. He cannot turn up in the big moments. We've seen it internationally. We've seen it at club level. So if we're talking about last season, he had as anomaly, we had a good season. Even if he was top 5, top 10 player for last season, yeah. Can you agree with the fact that the guy does not turn up when you really need him to turn up, whether it's internationally and club-wise on big occasions?
Well, my counter to this is these guys that you're referring to say the same about KDB, and for me, KDB is the best midfielder to play in the Prem. So I can agree with you, but still think he's a great player. And I'm not saying Foden's KDB level, by the way. And again, I'm saying Foden was trash this year. But one thing I want to point out is how that weasel over there snuck in Saka, yeah? And apparently it's always other men that compare to Saka, but this guy snuck him in.
Yeah, because I have to, bro. Because
hang on.
Hang on.
No, sorry to interrupt you, Boody, man. But because I feel like I need to jump in to make sure that you're not the only person who's doing this Saka thing, yeah? Because, bro, let's be honest. We never ever inserted Saka into these conversations, yeah? It's always been Foden that's been used to try and push Saka out of the conversation. That's how the tool has always been, whether it's for England, whether it's in the Premier League, whether it's, comparing trophies and stats and and all the rest of it. But, bro, you know as well as I know that if it came down to it, bro, and you had to pick one of them to try and get you over the line, we both know who we're picking. You might not say it on camera because you got to defend your boy, but we both know who we're really picking, bro, if it comes down to it.
Listen, I'm an honest man. We had part of this debate on the group chat, yeah? So this is my take, is you asked, who am I taking to get you over the line? The problem with that is that it suggests that Saka's really him. Yeah, he gets you over the line. I don't think he's that guy. And I think you Arsenal, man, I don't want to make this about Saka. You Arsenal fans are putting all of that pressure on this Saka guy. And I don't think Saka is a main guy kind of player. Now, that's my pause there. So whether Saka's better at performing in the big moments or not, I don't mind that. I can say that. That's okay. But don't make it that Saka is the main guy, because I don't think that's a good point. Now,
so what is he? He's another system player.
Huh? No, it's not either system or main. You could be the second most important, third most important. I don't think he's like a...
So who's the most important player in that team?
Who? Arsenal.
Yeah.
Most important player is probably your defenders, bro. That's my opinion. Probably your defenders. Saliba or Gabriel is your most important player. Yeah.
Wow.
Hold
Nah,
on.
Baz
No,
is just on a mad one
your whole
today.
career, hold on, your whole league this season, hold on, your whole season has been, we need O. Okay? We need O, yet you're still second and you were challenging for half of the season, whatever. So if you need O, you don't have the goals, that means you're challenging because you're so good at defending. And, you know, if you put two and
Yeah,
two
but
together,
bro,
player,
yeah, bro. But Saka was out for 3 months, bro.
okay, so how
Gabriel
could
was
he be
out
your
for
most
6 months.
player then? So how could he be the most?
4 months.
Yeah, so how could he be your
So
most
how could he be our
important
most important player? Because bro, we went from legitimate contenders for the title to also rans because of his absence. That's literally what it is.
Nobody on the Arsenal fan base has put Arsenal's decline from challenging because of Saka strictly, brother. It's because no one else is pulling their weight.
Oh my god, you're wilding out, bro.
All right, I'm winding now.
Bro, that's the day. That's the day our title challenge died.
Yeah. So let's Budi. Let Budi answer.
Baz, I
So-
can't lie, yeah.
No.
You know
So
what it is?
Arsenal didn't challenge the rest of the season because Saka got injured. But just because Saka got injured.
Bro,
We
it's the
didn't.
main-
We're not saying because Nelly didn't show up because you didn't have a striker.
They are
Jesus,
factors.
Havertz. Yeah,
They're
yeah,
factors. Of
yeah,
course, they're
yeah.
factors. But the main factor is bro. Listen, last year we did something similar, yeah, and I was a part of it, and I fell for this bullshit, yeah, where I was like, oh, our most important player is Odegaard because of the context of he's our only creative player. But bro, when I look back at that, bro, it's night and day, bro. The guy that's the most important player for Arsenal is Saka. And the biggest reason why this season came apart is because our best player got injured for 4 months. Bro, imagine Mohamed Salah get injured for 4 months for Liverpool, bro. They're not doing what they're doing, bro. Imagine we had...
Let's not talk about Mohamed Salah right now, innit? After your take last year, we're not talking about him. After you, man, sold him last season, don't try big him up and say, imagine losing Mo Salah. You guys were prepared to sell him last season, and now you're saying, oh, imagine losing Mo Salah for 4 months. Okay.
in hindsight,
It's the same energy, boys. We can't switch it up. You man sold him like a
blast from the
wild
past,
dog
bro.
last season, and I was there.
Bro, you know what's crazy?
In my face.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, you said keep Saka, bench Van Dijk, sell Trent. That was your three.
Whoa.
That's what you said. That's what you said, bro.
No,
Sell Trent.
I said they're not in the same team, bro. I said yeah. Sell Trent, which was number one. I said send him off to Madrid. Remember, I said that to you guys.
Literally, I just said
Live.
You said Saka, bro. You said Saka. That's why
Oh,
it's
you
confusing.
said Saka, bro.
the
You said
Saka.
Saka.
Oh, I'm losing
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mind. Oh, my bad.
So I said sell and Van Dijk bench, and I said keep 100% keep Salah because he needs a new manager, and the guy is still world class, but he just needs a bit of TLC. You know what I mean? And he got that from his new manager this season. And look, we're sitting here today, and we got man like it's not looking good, bruv. Saying,
Bro,
we can't have him away for 4 months.
Hey, if you
That's
ask me
not
that,
happening from you, man. I need
I'll
a
tell you
full
one thing.
apology from all of you.
now, if you ask me that again today, I'm saying sell Salah again. I'll say the same thing, brother.
I
Listen, we're getting away from the topic quickly. Let's
let me-
condemn Foden and we'll move on.
No, let me just say one thing in response. I hold my hands up. You are right, but I was 1 season out because, bro, now he signed that new contract. He's cooked.
He's out.
I'm standing it again. I'm reloading my take.
You're reloading the prediction. Hey, you man don't learn. Honestly, you man don't learn. I still think he got a couple good seasons in him. Still,
Yeah,
even
good,
till now
good.
at this age.
Yeah, good seasons. Good seasons.
Yeah, I think he's got a good season. I think he'd get another 20 goals each season. If he's giving us 20 goals each season, are you man still happy to sell him right now?
Hot take: Salah don't hit 20 in the Prem next season.
Yeah, I saw that. I agree with that.
There
I
you
saw it elsewhere as well.
Listen, we'll save that for. Listen, boys, we're covering this season now. All right, we're covering this season. All right, so right now, Phil Foden has been condemned unless Baz got a suitable alternative to our take. Yeah,
This whole is a system player. I don't think it's an insult, my friend. So what does that even mean, brother? If you wanna have it, I don't care. That's not an insult to Foden. A system player that, in your opinion, was top 5 players in the league last season by the voters, was the
that was
top.
my opinion.
and he's a system player, then bro, yeah, well, I'll vote for that. I don't mind, but I don't think it's an insult.
First of all, that was my opinion, and second of all,
bro, it's not an insult. It's not an insult. It may not be fun to watch. He may not be as productive on his own or whatever it is. But system players, it's football system, bro. Every your team, Arteta is trying to be a system, bro. Everyone's trying to do system. Now, if we're talking Foden and Saka, no, let me talk. If we're saying Foden and Saka, because we had this on the group chat, again, if we're we had. I don't want to repeat everything in the group chat, but to the viewers, I wasn't allowed to consider trophies. I wasn't allowed to consider like a particular season to say who's a better player, Saka or Foden. The only metric I was allowed to use is like consistency. So based on that, it seems Saka won the argument. Based in my world, who's the better football player, who's more talented, I'm gonna say Foden.
He's not more talented.
Nah, for me, he is.
Listen, boys, I'm gonna have to call time. I'm gonna have to call time on this one, yeah, because I don't think we're ever gonna get to the bottom of it. I think Baz is gonna he just did the thing.
Based on your thing. Well, what do you mean, bro? I look at football differently. The Gabos audience knows this by now, bro. Based on whole career, who showed up more? Saka. But Foden's best season to me, which is last season, outdoes Saka's best season. That's a fair assessment, bro. I don't need to just agree with everything. That's my opinion.
No, bro. Listen, what you did was the 8 Mile thing, bro. Where you put all of the insults out there, and if he goes, I am white, and I do come from a trailer park, to try and put all the insults. It doesn't matter if he's a system player. It doesn't matter if he's this, that, the other. It's good to be a system player. Nah, bro, it's not. It's good to be an individual who can carry a team, and that's why it's not. It's in my opinion, it's not a positive thing, bro. All the other guys here, they can break out of a system and take over a game. If you're a guy who has to be in the exact slot your gaffer tells you to be in the exact moment, for me, like it's like somebody's playing PlayStation, bro, when you're a character on the game.
What about the guys that can't even follow an instruction then? What about the guys that you lot rate and then they play in a system which is, we're saying system is easier because you don't have to carry or whatever, and they can't even perform. Mm-hmm. You have to keep the same energy. There's players that can't do system. So we can't have it one way, bro. If you're going to rate Grealish and then say the system ruins him, you're going to have to rate Foden for making it work in the system. Let's be honest.
Hold that thought, because the next award I want to go into is the better be learning Arabic buddy award, the should be in Saudi award. All right, I want to go. It doesn't have to specifically be aging ballers. It doesn't have to specifically be guys who are like at the end of their footballing career. But I want to talk about players who, it just looks like the pace of the league is far too high for them. I think this season, go on.
I've got a couple already that just spring to mind straight away. Ashley fucking Young. What on earth is he doing back in the Prem? 39 years old. His legs are hanging off his skin, and he's somehow still stealing a living in the Prem. I don't know how he's still in the Prem at the moment. And the second option that I have also is Jordan Henderson. Why has he not gone back to Saudi? Because he came back and now he's giving basically motivational speeches while he's getting run past. Basically, that's his job now for his club, for Sheffield United. He literally has got no legs, no hips, as Sir Alex Ferguson wrote in his book 15 years ago. And somehow he's made it back here and he's trying to do a job somewhere. So those are my two picks. Honestly, they've been. I don't know how they're still here.
You know what?
I mean, that's a stray for Endo, bro. But the Ashley Young, even Ashley Young is a stranger. That should be in a cemetery, bro. Not in Saudi.
No, that's a legend in the game, man. Go on, Rudy.
But then that's a problem. How long do we give legends a chance to continue ruining their name in the league? We want the best players at all times in the league. Why are we going to have Ashley Young, who's 74, who's got grandkids, in the league? Why would you want someone like that? He's not LeBron James. We don't look at the guy and say, oh, LeBron James is still doing it at that level, so it's good to have him in the league kind of thing. It's not even like that with Ashley Young. We never ever looked at Ashley Young and said, oh, he's a world-class baller. No, the guy was a system player. He was a guy that they put at left back, They put
Nah,
him in left
snap.
wing. They put him
Hey,
in
boys,
so
man,
many
stop
different
this, stop
positions.
this TikTok word, bro. Let's stop using this TikTok word now. System player. Are we just
No,
gonna use it?
no,
Everyone,
but
bro? Ashley Young
I'm
was a
just
good.
saying. I'm
Ashley
just
Young was a
saying.
good player. Ashley Young
No,
had
he
won
was
the
a good
whole league
player, but he
cup.
was
He
never
was
ever a
very good.
world class player. If we were to put him in the NBA, he'd be on the minimal contract. He'd be one of them guys you get in on a 10-day contract to do a job, and you just get rid of him after 10 days. You don't have him in the league on an actual full base contract like he is at the moment. I don't know what he's doing here, to be honest. And you know what? You just got to respect some man's agents in the league, because my God, like the work they're doing for these guys is like top tier, man. Because he's at a good club. He's at a decent club.
I think he's better than a lot of men that are much younger than him, even at his old, dead, whatever retired age he is, bro. I think Ashley Young. I don't know, man. There's a lot of these players that you're saying we want world class, bro. I'd struggle to name 20 off the top of my head. So I think there's more non-world class than world class in the Prem. But you know, I have a pick. He's a young guy. He's a rated guy. I think Budi thinks he knows who I'm saying, but yeah, I don't think you do. And that guy, he wears blue. Oh, I don't even think. I think they're scrapping over.
Nah, I'm joking.
I think that they're scrapping whether he's gonna wear blue or red, bro. Sancho needs to start saying "Salamu alaikum." Needs to start saying "Marhaba," "Shukran." Yeah, bro. Abshir. These things, bro. He needs to say Abshir, brother, because when a Saudi asks for something, you gotta say Abshir. As in, yeah, I'll do it, brother, for the money. Because you, my friend, are a dead ball. Whether you were good, you were decent, you whatever, you're not doing it, bro. You're just not doing it. You're not even, he's not even likable, bro. No one likes him. It's just like you're unwanted. You know, when you go to like a party or like a school event, you're not really wanted there.
Yeah,
That's how I feel Sancho is, man. Because he's amongst the popular clubs, but he's not wanted. So
yeah, I see
Sancho,
him in Dubai all the time. I don't know. He doesn't even train. I don't think he looks like he doesn't train. He's basically in the Dubai clubs 24/7. But
see, there
I
you go.
disagree, because he had his. I think with him, he needs to be at the right club. I feel like he needs to be at Borussia Dortmund, and just stay there. And I know that he came back on loan. He had his little bit of and look, he went to the final of the Champions League on his time back. Why wasn't he taken again? I still don't know.
Wages.
I feel like that should have. Wages obviously was a big thing, but if he remained at Germany, that's where he actually played his best football. Can we all agree that last season when he went to Bristol, he was playing unbelievable ball for Dortmund last year.
No.
Good ball, not unbelievable ball. Good ball.
Couple games, overall average. Trust me, bro. Trust me. I've done my due
You might
diligence on this
rate
guy.
his performance a 5 out of 10.
5 is not good, ball. 5 is not good.
5 out of 10 is average. You guys said it's average.
Nah, bro. Average is like a 6, 7. Like that's a good average, consistent level. He was a 5-6. Yeah,
I thought he was an 8.
By the way, you're
Yeah,
smoking
I thought
crack.
he was an 8.
By the way, Ashley Young, yeah, is better this season than Jadon Sancho has been this season, bro. I can name you, and I watched a few games. I can name you at least 3 games, yeah, where he's absolutely put their clamps, including Martinelli, bro. Yeah, he absolutely put their clamps on him, and he's a 40-year-old guy who's got a son who's a professional footballer, bro. And look, I agree. It might be time to, buy the Candora, get the Jeep, do all that stuff. But at the same time, bro, Jadon Sancho is done and dusted, bro. That one is a very, very good pick, because he would have slipped out my mind. Booty's been waiting there for ages, though, man. I want to get Booty's take.
You know what? There's one that's close to the Gabos pod faithful. Because you see Abs, when he gets it right, all season he hasn't let us forget about his Salah call, yeah. But he's forgotten one call he made that everyone else on this pod told him he's not that guy anymore, and he didn't want to hear us out, and that is KDB. You said he was still that guy, and this season he's proven to be, bro. A shell of himself is a compliment.
Terrible. He's been terrible. Yeah, he hasn't been good.
And I think, listen, okay, he can still do a job. in terms of being a squad player and whatever. But I don't think. I think if he stays in this league, yeah, he's doing it because of what he said in the interview. He's got family that live in Manchester, and he's got kids, and he has to think of his family. This is a typical Raheem Sterling move. Arsenal will sign this guy, and he'll be an absolute disaster for us. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you something about this. Yeah. Next season, you're saying, yeah, this guy becomes fully fit. Yeah. He signs for Arsenal. Is he doing a better job for us than ODG?
Nah. He's not, man. He's not.
We've got some faces in the chat. We've got some faces in the chat, innit, yeah? Because I 100% wholeheartedly agree. He would do a miles better job than that bum that we've got in midfield.
You don't know. We're doing too much, bruv. We're doing too much, man.
I'm
sorry.
KDB.
ODG was horrible.
No. I'm KDB #1 fan, and I go back to this extreme nonsense. He won't do a better job than Odegaard, bro. And we're saying if he gets full fitness, what does that even mean, bro? He's not running like Odegaard.
He had injuries this year.
Yeah,
he had a lot of injuries this year, but I'm saying
the hate on Odegaard is so nasty, yeah? We're acting like Odegaard wasn't out for 3 months. He literally had ankle surgery, bro. This is the first
bro,
big
he can have whatever surgery he has, yeah. But the guy is a bum player, and I've been saying it for years and years and years, and nobody ever believed me. He had one good season at the club, yeah. Ever since then, he has not reached anywhere near the heights, bro. Has he even hit 10 assists? He's got the same assists as the fucking goalie at City. That's the kind of guy that you're talking about.
He's doubled that now. He's doubled that. He's got 8 assists in the league. Let's stop the cap. But anyways,
8 assists. All right, fantastic. That's our star player. That's our captain, leading from the front. 8 assists.
All right.
Well done.
Okay, let's move away from KDB. I just wanted to mention that quickly to get my lick back at Abs. Yeah, the guy who I think should actually cut and who's got a new contract now, another further year, is Heung-min Son, man. He suits that league because they need all the Asian, like Igal was saying once upon a time. And I genuinely haven't seen a bigger fall from like even KDB. He's not as great as he used to be, but he's still got some juice left. This guy, he looks so arse. Like I've watched Spurs this season. I've never seen such a drop from such a he was world class, one of the best wingers in the league, if not the best left winger in the league, to one of the worst wingers in the league, in my opinion.
Facts. And for me, I know you man are Arsenal, man. But you guys definitely gave him flowers when he was in his pump. Like you guys have rated him. But yeah, he's just not, bro. It's not even just this season, by the way. I think the fall off happened last season, maybe even before. I don't know.
But this season took it to another level of cheeks, bro.
I think bro. Every time I watch this guy play, I'm not even exaggerating, bro. He tries to do the thing he's good at, which is cut in and shoot or go down the byline. 9 times out of 10 is getting blocked, bro. Cross, shot, anything is getting blocked. And that is a sign for me. You know, when your game is based off that sharpness, when things start getting blocked, you're not getting there quick enough. You're not beating your man. It's too choreographed. That's when you've lost it, man. So I'm more than happy to send them off, man. I'll split the ticket with you. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout, honestly.
Drive them to the airport.
I think in similar, I think it's maybe okay. KDB, Heung-min Son, these guys are like guys who did their thing. Like it's natural, age catches up to them, all the rest of it. Yeah, this is a guy who I think, whether it's a combination of the freedom being coached out of him or him just abusing his body to the point where he's knackered, bruv, could do with being in a dry country, could actually have some serious health benefits from being in a place where, you know, he's not yacked and driving his Range Rover into parked cars. It's a guy who had high hopes for, bruv, the £100 million man, Jack Grealish, bruv. This is a guy who has faded into obscurity. And I think this guy needs an imam around him, bruv, whispering some phrases into his ears, bruv, because this guy's lost in the sauce, bruv.
Why not somewhere like Madrid where he's able to be free, you know? Yeah, they play free, they let their players do their thing. Because he's just not doing good because he's a system player, isn't it? Let him you know, be free, man. Do his thing. Why not that? Saudi, come on, man. Grealish.
Are you starting him over Vinny?
World class Grealish.
Or Mbappe? Are you starting him over Vinny?
Take the chains off, man. Take the chains off Jack. Let him express himself. Man. Bro, listen,
I respect it. If you want to start him over, if you want to start him over Mbappe and Vinny, I rate it, bro. I rate your faith in him. But for me, I don't have those.
That's crazy.
Akhi,
Wait, is that what you're
over.
saying?
No, brother, you're just unaware of. You're unaware of my Jack Grealish hate. You're unaware of these man telling me Jack Grealish is an amazing world-class player. It's just that Pep ruined him. If Pep ruined him, how about he goes?
Wow.
Let him go somewhere and cook.
Wow.
Man.
Who said Pep ruined him? He was never ever. He was never ever $100 million player to start with.
Ever.
How dare his valuation be that high?
Nah, listen,
How
I never
dare?
said
It's like Andy
100
Carroll going to 35 million. There was English tax on that deal, 100%. And it's the same thing with Grealish.
Bro, by the way, listen, before you guys start going on a glaze off, yeah?
David Beckham.
Listen, before you guys start going on a glaze off, let me just pause you right there, bro. I like Jack Grealish. I've never shied away from that fact, yeah. But I don't think either of us have ever said we would pay £100 million for him. No, but I understood why he went for that amount of money. Was he ever worth that much money? No. Would we buy him for £100 million? No. I will never ever say the same thing about, let's say, Declan Rice, for example, bro, because I think he was worth that money, yeah. But
I agree.
One thing I will say, brother, is if you watch the season before when he was at Aston Villa, yeah, and he could just do literally whatever he wanted to do, and he had a team on his back, I understood why they placed that premium on him. I understood why they bought him, but he was never worth that much money, bro. Right? He was never he never had anything that was like a 10 out of 10 attribute, bro.
He was good at Villa.
I want to put my hands up because I did used to overgas him to Baz, so I'm not gonna pretend I wasn't a big fan. I still am a fan of Grealish. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a wavy player, and at his pomp at Villa, I enjoyed watching him play. He was wavy, but listen, I have to stay consistent. For me, you have to show it. Like when it hit to the highest level. Bro, system or no system, Pep Guardiola or no Pep Guardiola, the best players, they gotta show up in it. And he had like half a good season when they won the treble, but that he hasn't really lived up to the hype, man. So yeah.
Jack Grealish, the only thing he's good at is being on a night out with him. That's honestly the only positive that I can come to a conclusion with, because he's had a great time at Villa. I'm not saying, but I just always thought, for me, he was never ever the top teams kind of player. He was the teams below that. Maybe a Tottenham, I thought he would have been good at.
Bingo.
You know them sort of teams that.
He's a Madison.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Player.
He's not an elite. Yeah. He's not an elite. Oh, we're going to win the Champions League. This type of player with this player. He's not. He's never been that guy. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's a shit player, guys. But I'm just saying he should never be anywhere near the top teams. He should be with the Tottenhams, them sort of level teams.
All right, listen. Hang on. I don't mean to interrupt you, bro. But they did sign him, and he did play. Almost every minute of their treble-winning campaign, and he did contribute to those dubs, bro. So if the mission was win the treble, win the Champions League, he was a meaningful contributor to that happening. All right. So
they have done it
for me, it's more about the
100%. They would have done it without.
I guess we'll never know. What happened was they bought him and they did it. All right. So what I'm saying is the drop off has been so substantial.
I guess we'll never know if they would have won it without Foden. Then I guess we'll never know.
Here we go.
You can't be inconsistent in the same pod. Give it a couple recordings, bro. In the same thing.
I know, but bro, listen. I never said anything about. I never said anything about Foden not contributing to winning. By the way, so look, listen. I know he you're on the payroll. You got to say some things, and if you wait for just 1 second, if you just wait for 2-3 minutes, I promise you'll be able to get Foden in again. All right, I promise you that. Let me drop off. Oh, so we got Sancho, great shout. We got Ashley Young. Booty, remind me who your guy was again? Heung-min Son, and of course. We've got Jack Grealish. Do you think we can get consensus? Because I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm voting for Sancho, bruv.
Yeah.
I probably yeah. I would potentially look at Sancho, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's had a howler this season. He's had a howler season. Guys. Look, I'm not like you guys, innit? Like I'll get off my high horse. If I've been mistaken, I've been mistaken, innit? But there's certain man that we know in the chat that will hold. They won't hold their hells with respect, innit? Let's be real.
He'll put his hands up, but he'll make it known that none of us do as well. Yeah. Listen, I was going to say Grealish is a great shout, by the way, but let's go with Sanchez. Common. All of them are great picks, by the way. I think Ashley Young, for me, it's too far gone. You might as well just stay in the Prem, bro. No one's really.
He's got one foot in the grave, bro.
Young, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I said. That's what I was gonna say, bro. I said should go to Saudi, bro. Not go to the cemetery, bro. You got the wrong category, man.
They ain't taking
The
it.
wrong category, bro.
You got something left when you go there, innit? You know what I mean? Ashley Young,
These poor Saudis, bro. We're just selling them bin bags, man.
You know the points you get when you turn 65. Them free
Maybe
ones.
Oman, bro. Maybe Oman.
Yeah, bro. You struggle there, bro. The Omani, bro. He used to be in the yeah. All right, boys, let's move on because we've got a few more to get through. This next one is actually going to be an interesting one because I think maybe some of the names that have already been previously brought up could get brought up again. And it's this one is the Agenda Proof Award, bruv. Yeah, these are the guys who can never be criticized before the cult starts to form around them and they start to get, legal defense lawyers jumping in, the transfer market stats start coming out, the trophy halls start getting looked at. My one, everyone knows. Everyone knows because I've spent the majority of this season online, offline, in real life.
Sorry, can you say that again? Cut off. Which one?
This one's the Agenda Proof. So these are the guys who. So this award is for Agenda Proof. This one's for the guys who they get people running defense on whenever you criticize them, whenever you say anything bad about them, people come running to their defense. My one.
I know what
he's been mentioned already, and he's the captain of my beloved club, bruv. And he's a guy who has genuinely, bruv, contributed to us not getting anything over the line, bruv. Do you know what it is? And I've said this on numerous occasions. I won't keep beating a dead horse. He just hasn't got the minerals, bruv, for me. He just has not got the minerals, bruv. Especially when you look at the guy who stood next to him. Like, that's the leadership qualities that I look for, bruv. For me, when you like try and... Bro, I just don't like... It's little things. Pumping up the crowd like 15 times a game. You're supposed to give the crowd something to cheer for, bruv. You're not supposed to tell the crowd, cheer for us so we can do something for you. He's got the paradigm. He started to believe in the power of the fans. Right? And the guys who really win everything, yeah, bro, they play in their heads, they're in an empty stadium, bro. They're playing in goals, nobody's watching, they're just doing it because they have to do it, bro. All this pleasing the fans, PR bullshit, yeah, when you're getting, and I know you said he's got 8 assists now, but when the stat came out and the league was still on the line, bro, he had 4, and that was on the same number of assists as Edison, bro. He's not as creative people to say he is. He's flimsy, and he's got to go, in my opinion.
When he had 4 assists, Budi fact check me. Didn't he have the highest chances created or something?
His creative numbers in terms of for Arsenal are always the highest. Like, he's definitely our most creative player. Look, bro, we're comparing him to a keeper. This is an anomaly keeper. The most assists a keeper's ever had in the league, bro. Like, it's an anomaly season. I get it. It's not a nice stat, but if you look back few seasons back, KDB had like 5 assists in one of his seasons. Like, it is with these creative players. Egal's never liked them. The Ozils, the Matters. I know you like Mata, but bear with me. Let me make my point. Ozil, Mata, even KDB to a certain extent, like Bernardo Silva's, bro. They're like Mavericks. They're technicians, but they're not players that are very consistent in terms of year in, year out, they're going to ball out. Sometimes you're going to get frustrated with them because they don't have the power and pace of a Rice or a Morgan Rogers or whatever. So when it's not going well, they're just going to look weak, because if they're not balling, it looks gonna look needy. If Rice ain't balling, he can go, like as Roy Keane would say, smash into someone, win the ball back, drive with the ball. That's not Odegaard's game, innit?
You expect it's called. Do you know what he said right now is basically he has no minerals. That's basically what you're saying. You see how you sort of smashing into someone. That's called someone that, for me, when I was playing ball, when it wasn't going well for me, I made everyone on the pitch know it wasn't going well for me by getting into some challenges, getting involved in some part of the game to give you some confidence to do something. Does that make sense? And with Odegaard, one thing that's been pissing me off for a matter of years, the guy can't shoot a ball to save his life. I don't know how he's still a footballer. He can't shoot a ball. I've been saying this was I not saying this 2-3 years ago to you? I literally was talking to, I don't like the way he plays. He cannot shoot a ball. How are we having a Cam that's meant to be a goal scorer in our team that finds it difficult to find the back of the net on a consistent basis? He had one anomaly season where he found the net a few times and he had a decent season in terms of goal. But in terms of overall, I've just never liked him attacking wise. I just don't think he's good enough. I think he doesn't turn up for big games consistently. That's one thing I've got to keep saying about him. And once you see that trend of someone not turning up, and we saw what he done in Real Madrid. He was there for 2 games. How he was still on the pitch for 90 minutes each game, and Arteta had the nerve to swap him off in the 90th minute for the other guy, the 17-year-old kid, Nwaneri, in the 90th minute after he'd done nothing for 2 games straight. Stuff like that, I can't defend. The guy is just not good enough at this level. Again, he's another one of these players that needs to go be shipped off to a team underneath the elite teams, the Tottenhams. Look, I'm shipping everyone off to Tottenham, to be fair, because if you're looking at the mid-tier team that needs to challenge to go to the top, them players need to go there. The guys that can't perform on a consistent basis, the guys can't deliver you goals on a consistent basis, and there's a few of them stragglers in that team already. But he's the number one for me that's been pissing me off, along with Martinelli that's lost his Brazilian passport for a number of years now. These are the main ones that we're trying to get out of the club because they haven't got the minerals to cut it at the top level.
Good point. Budi, I mean, I presume you and Baz are both going to have counter arguments and players that you want to suggest for this particular category. So yeah, take it away, Budi. Then we'll jump over to you, Baz.
Listen, the audience need to know that Gal has not mentioned this task beforehand, so we're just off the top of my dome. So I'm trying to think of players. I think a lot of the players that have already been mentioned are strong suitors for this, and namely, I would say Sancho, because bro, for some reason, Sancho, Abs touched upon it early on in the episode, bro. It's always, oh yeah, he just needs the right environment. He needs the right team. Bro, Odegaard this season, genuinely this season has been better than Sancho, and Odegaard's been arse. I'm not defending him, yeah. Odegaard last season head way better than Sancho, yeah, bro. They're still living off a banging season or two he had in Dortmund in when was it? 2019, 2018.
No. And English tax. Yeah,
he still has the most insane prop. He still has the most insane supporters. He goes to Man United, he flops. Bro, even some of the Man United fans still defend him till this day. He goes to Chelsea, they say to you, oh, no, it's not about, it's the system. Maresca doesn't know how to use him. He needs to go back to Dortmund. He needs to do Sprat. Bro, what other player on planet Earth gets this much rope? I swear I've never seen, bro. It's insane, bro. Go on,
Budi. Do you think? Yeah, I know we're talking about Sancho there, but do you think the same shoe could fit a couple of Chelsea players as well? I wanted to obviously lambast Odegaard, but I also think that Caicedo has got on a similar level of defense. What do you think about that one?
I think Caicedo this season's been phenomenal.
He's been their best player, bro. He's been very
I can't lie. I think he's been saying that. I hate Chelsea, innit? But bro, I've watched them because I've wanted them to lose. You know how much I want them not to make the Champions League. And bro, without him, They're a bag. That's the
Yeah,
only
mad.
out of the 2 billion they've spent. That's the only, and Palmer, obviously, even though I hate him. But for work, like value for money, and this season, bro, he's been insane. I can't lie.
Like,
I'll take Lavia in that conversation as well. That's a player that I wanted at Arsenal for.
he's
Well,
not, he's not been there.
Southampton, but he's just been injured quite a lot. But Lavia is an exceptional player.
Let me chime in here. Yeah. The reason this makes this discussion is even more difficult, yeah, because usually the usual suspects are more 90% of the time United players, but United this year is so irrelevant, bro. We're not even getting onto United players, bro. I've not even had to take anyone to court for United, bro, because they've accepted defeat, they've accepted all that. The one player I'm gonna say, and you mentioned it, Yigal, who I don't think is bad. I think he's a decent player, but I think he has the biggest defense. Freaking whatever it is, bro. The biggest defense is Cole Palmer. This again, not because he's been shit and he gets defended, but I think Chelsea fans. I don't come across too many annoying Chelsea fans. I don't have a hate for Chelsea, whatever. But when it's Palmer, I'm in multiple group chats. Some of the you lot aren't in, and there's a lot of Chelsea fans in that. He, despite being good, he can go, and he went on a spell of 15 games or whatever it was without a goal. And he was still it's always Chelsea are dead, this and that. It's not let's criticize Palmer. So I think Palmer gets an honorable mention. This player I'm gonna say, and you're gonna say this is me agenda. Again, very good player. He's you lot's favorite at the club.
I knew he was gonna say it. Saka.
No, not Saka, the other favorite, bro. He's you lot's favorite. I think he's a very good player. I'm not saying he's been bad, but I think his defense there is zero criticism allowed, and I think that's Declan Rice. Again, very good player, proved it at the Madrid 2 legs at Madrid. But I think,
stop that right now, mate.
I think this guy's attorneys are always there, bro. In my group chats, I see that. I think you man have 2 jobs, but bro, honestly, I can't think of none jump at me because of. I would have said United players, but bro, Højlund. If it was last season or early, maybe. But bro, they've given up on him. There's nobody. Bruno, I think Bruno's actually proven a lot of the haters wrong, personally. So I don't.
But that ties back. What does that tie back to, though, Baz? Yeah, it ties back to what I was saying. He's one of them creative players, like Odegaard, like a Mata, like a De Bruyne. They have bits where they're not great, and then they have phases where they're amazing.
Who's this? Palmer?
No, Bruno. Bro, how many people are saying Bruno is shit? Now he's the best guy.
I think the difference is, and Igor probably gonna say it. Actually, I don't know. You're not a fan, but the difference in Bruno that stands out is that whole stat padding thing when you're playing shit, his goals take him over the line and all this. I think for a Cam, he's very good at that. Honestly, bro. He gets the goals. Even I know he spams long balls every now and then. One is an amazing ball. I think Bruno, he has. Again, I'm a fan of Bruno's locker. I hate him as a player, bro. He's a rat. The way he acts on the field, he's always whining, all of this, all of that. But I think he's got a big locker of skills, and I think he delivers the goals and assists. So his stats carry him when he's been mid. Whereas Odegaard, and again, I back your points. What you said, the Odegaards, the Bernardos, these players that are a bit not physical, and when someone's not playing good and he's not bodying, bro, he's just going to be absent. These guys get more hate because of the profile of player they are. Then it's back to what kind of player do you want in your midfield?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be real with you guys. My pick is gonna be a bit. I don't want to be controversial. We've done this one before, but I think for me, being around Arsenal fans, there's one player that consistently gets a lot of cushion in terms of the media and the Arsenal fan base, and that player for me. Is Kai Havertz. They talk about him, tactical genius, elite movement, silent operator. And for me, the translation for that is he jogged around, made one pass, and Arsenal Twitter will have you thinking he's cured world hunger. That's literally the way that I view this guy. I honestly think he has one touch flick somewhere, and all of a sudden they've turned that flick into a 5-minute YouTube breakdown. It's he does not need to be up front for that team. I've said this multiple times. He's not a striker. He's filling in now because there's no one else there. But for me, when Arsenal were even signing him in the first place, they paid 60 million for a guy that scored 5 or 6 goals in a season. He was never ever a goal scorer. He never ever had an elite season at Chelsea, or what we would never describe him as a world-class player even then. The fact that Arsenal went out their way to overpay for a player like that, and now you just see him, and he's just a passenger most games. And he might just get onto the end of something and he'll score, but he does nothing else on the pitch. He'll flick on one header, and all of a sudden, the commentary will come out, the Arsenal brigade will come out and say, look, that's what we need. A 6'3" guy just flicking it on. We don't have that in this club. And then all of a sudden, the 60 million is worth it. And I've been seeing it consistently, week in, week out, that player. The guy is trash. I've never liked the player. He does not suit the Arsenal style of play. He's not a player that's techie that you feel like he'll beat a man and he'll score, or he's not a man that you look at him but like he'll create his own chance to score. He's never been that guy. So why is it that someone like him gets so much rope with the Arsenal fans like he's the savior, the guy that's going to get us 60 goals a season? He's never been that man, but yet somehow he's stealing a living up there.
Bro,
No one said nothing.
Brother, I'm glad I'm not in these Arsenal forums you're in, because the ones I'm in, these guys don't rate him, bro. I don't know what Arsenal.
I think.
No.
I think.
He gets his goals. That's what I hear.
I think. By the way, he done a better job than. Like, I think he did maybe a bit better job than. So I think he came in,
Gabby.
and then he was a bit trash, but then he kind of brought it back when he started bagging some important goals. So I think he did a decent job, but yeah, he's not a 9 for Arsenal. And I think the Havertz thing, because of that, it was a yo-yo, bro. You know, when he done well, I think the Arsenal fans, piggybacked on that. But then, like, it's just inconsistent. He's playing the wrong. I don't know, man. For me, Let's
just say even he done well. My point is, let's say he had a good game. Let's just say, his good games are trash for me. Even the games where we say he was, what was it? It was a tap in or he scored a finish. And all of a sudden, it was almost like the Haaland thing, where Haaland scores 2 or 3 great finishes. All of a sudden, he had an amazing game, but he had nothing else on the pitch to provide. Like,
we're gonna have to, bro. Come on now, man. 2 or 3.
No. Bro, I'm saying. Sometimes, look. You know, when watching City, they've got all these players doing all the build-up work, and then they've got Haaland. Oh, I'm not talking about this season. Take this season out. I'm talking about generally when Haaland was their first couple seasons. They would do all the work, and he'll be on the end to tap it in. And he'll get 2 or 3 goals, and all of a sudden he'll get man of the match because of the finishes. But the build-up play and the style and everything, the way it was even brought to him, that's not really talked about as much. And I feel like Kai Havertz is in a similar situation where the build-up has been done for him, and he's on the end of it, just picking it in, and he'll score like a couple goals in a game, and all of a sudden it's Kai Havertz. Yeah, can he fill in for? You know what I mean?
I think what you're saying is it was true. Because we wanted him to be good so badly, anything he would do, we would gas up. But I think, especially this season, I think, bro, it was the opposite. I think people were flaming him, bro. Like, he was getting smoked. But I will say one thing. I think Kai Havertz, not as a starter for Arsenal. The only thing that's nasty is because he's our highest paid player. But I think as a squad player for Arsenal next season, hopefully we sign a striker, which is what we should do, and a left winger. As a squad player, I think he's a 30 player to have, man. I genuinely believe he's a 30.
Not mad at that. Yeah, I'm not.
I don't think he's.
Keep him in the squad. We'll play him in the reserves, no problem. Just don't have him near the starting 11. I just wouldn't have him anywhere near starting. If you're looking, do I look at that guy and say he's going to win us the Premier League? No. Do I look at Odegaard? Same thing. Is he going to win us the league? Absolutely not. Same with Martinelli. These players are not the players that are going to win you the league. If they're not going to win us the league, ship them off. Tottenham will take him. I've already said Tottenham will take Havertz in a heartbeat. So we need winners in this club.
You know my problem. You know my problem with this. You know my problem. Quick one, Igor. Sorry. You know my problem with this argument of like, he won't win us the league. He won't win us the league. You want 11 man. Every position to be a guy that will win you the league.
Killers.
But that's not very, very seldom is that the case, bro. Like Liverpool don't have, and you can say anomaly season Salah, bro. This is football, brother. What your main guy has to cook. Liverpool do not have 11 killers, bro. If I gave you Liverpool players without telling you they won the league this season, and I told you take these man maybe half of them you'll tell me these lot aren't. They're not the best in their position to win me the league. So you can't. It's a bit that
But
expectations
some
are
of
a
them
bit mad.
overperformed. Them players overperformed. That
Nah,
midfield
bro, no,
overperformed.
man. The
Ryan
only guy that
Gravenberch had an
overperformed-
unbelievable
Bro, you're not,
season. Did he not?
bro. Before the season, you're not taking
No,
Diaz.
Booty.
You're not taking Diaz as a killer to win you the league. Yeah, you're not taking him. You're not taking Gakpo. He had a good half of the season before he got injured. They're not killers. So there's teams, bro. Not every position. I think the expectations, and I don't know why it is, by the way, but Arsenal expectations, they seem higher than every other fan base. It's insane, like for players.
Because we've been lied to for the longest, bro.
No. Do you know it is
Maybe
bad?
for
Do
longest.
you know it is
For
bad,
20
yeah?
years,
Bro,
every single season, it's a project this, project that, project.
I
Believe in the
think-
trust.
Nah,
in the
Abdi.
bullshit. Of course, it's gonna be mad.
Booty, go on. But I said this before. I think there's an entitlement element.
No,
But
bro.
go on, Booty.
That could be one thing. But another thing is, yeah, bro, we sign players, yeah, that are good players. Don't get me wrong. They're good players, and this is the history of Arsenal. A lot of the time, they're good players, but they're not main guys. They shouldn't be starting. Like the Olivier Girouds, yeah. Olivier Giroud is a 30 backup, bro. He's got the most goals off the
Wallah, rate him.
history of the
Wallah,
Premier
rate him.
League. Yeah, that guy is not a guy that leads the line for you, but he's a 30 backup 9. If you had someone like, bro, I don't know, Suarez up top and then Giroud behind him as the supporting striker, as his backup,
I'll take it. We'll take it.
Giroud's legacy at Arsenal would be completely different. You bring in Kai Havertz, yeah? Kai Havertz as your main 9, obviously he's going to get flamed. He's going to get killed, bro. But if he's the backup to your 9 and you don't see him game in, game out when shit hits the fan, the narrative around him will be different, bro. Bro, Liverpool this season, Darwin Núñez, Jota,
Facts.
Diaz, Gakpo
Rotation.
turned up more than usual. But bro, the only guy that really turned up, really and truly turned up and done the heavy lifting up top was Salah, bro. That was it.
Facts.
And as much as we love Saka, I love Saka, yeah. But the numbers aren't Salarin. Do you get it? And he needs someone else.
That's
like you
crazy.
said, guys. He's a good.
Bro, yeah, and on your point, because I think it's a great point. The other problem here that comes into play is now Arsenal fan, instead of thinking how you think, like bring in a striker and give me Havertz a sub, it's like all the good players should go, but you're not getting rid of a 7 and bringing in a 9 in every position. Martinelli, for example, forget the money he can bring in. He's not a bad left winger second option at all, bro. Genuinely, when you're talking about depth, decent quality. So a lot of these players that you might want gone, bro, just keep them and upgrade. And Budu said this on the chat before. Havertz, keep him and bring a killer. Imagine you have Havertz, who is not a dead player, bro, as a guy that comes in or plays the second, like plays a game. It's not highest priority, but you want to win it. He's still good enough to do it, bro. And he's like, and
Bro,
he's
he's got like.
So you're basically saying let's leave him for
Can
the
I
fans,
go?
basically.
Yeah, go on, nigga. Go on.
Can I go, bro? Listen, man. Of course, I'd love to stockpile all the talent and keep adding it, but we've got to look at obviously the way that our club is run, bro. That it's not something we historically have done. Should we keep Martinelli and sign Rodrigo? Yeah, I would love that, bro. But the reality of the economics is not adding up. And secondly, just a quick point before I have to move us on, is I'm not sure if Booty's going to agree with me, but I don't know. If you look at Kai Havertz, yeah, he was originally signed to play left central midfield, and then when that was a horrendous experiment, he was moved up top and he bagged some goals, and everyone kind of cheered him, charity penalties, all the rest of it. 265 grand a week, he hasn't earned enough to stay for me, especially when we've got a guy who can do the exact same 2 roles, who has impressed me a hell of a lot more in Merino. Merino as a 9, in terms of like showing up in certain games, bruv, and displaying what he's done, bruv, considering he's never ever played that position. I honestly think has got more room. I think he's got more room to grow in the 9 as a backup 9, not as a primary 9, but as a backup 9, then Havertz has to go, bro. Because honestly,
I agree,
bro, you cannot justify being paid. If Kai Havertz said, all right, I'll take 100 bags a week and I'll sit on the bench and I'll come on, I'll do my bit, great. But touching 300, yeah, that kind of territory, for you not to be the absolute undisputed main man at the club, you just simply have to move on, bro. There's nobody else in the world, bro, not even Real Madrid, who pay 265 grand a week for somebody to sit on the bench. This
Bro, it
is
happens
not how
all
the game works,
time,
bro.
Cal. It happens all the time. This is not 2000. Bro, we've had Jesus, who's on 250 for 3 years on the bench. He's got 2 knees that are gone. Get him out.
Clear him
Why
off.
are we getting out?
Clear him
Bro,
off.
why are we getting out?
Clear him off. I agree.
Bro, Luka Modric is on fucking 400 and something racks a week.
Hey, all right, listen. Right, when you start bringing Luca's name,
he's done his thing.
hey,
but, bro,
hey, behave yourself. Hey, behave
have
yourself.
a lot of guys on, bro, Alaba, the guy from Bayern
Bro,
Munich.
why not Real Madrid? Bro? Listen, that's the exception to the rule, man. Real Madrid is the exception to the rule, bro. Even Barca, bro. Listen, who else, bro? Who else? Who else is 265 grand?
How much is Jack Grealish on? How much is Jack Grealish on?
Yo,
115 FC. So we're bringing up 115 FC, bro, compared to Arsenal Football Club. Is that what we're doing now? All right, if we can, okay, you're right. Okay, in that case, let's keep Havertz. Rudy says, let's keep Havertz. Alan, clip that up. Yeah, no, bro, I understand, but why don't we just sell that guy and spend the 265 on somebody better than him? How about we do that?
Because Egal, you know, and this is something that you've told us many a time, you don't sell a guy when his stocks are lowest, bro. Havertz, I'm telling you, next season, are you telling me, Egal, you're in your honest belief, Egal Havertz has nothing to offer off the bench next season if we bring in a serious 9?
no, he does. And funny enough, you know what I was gonna say? You can answer. Madrid came to my mind. You would not want Joselu as your second striker, yeah, and them man did it. And you're saying Havertz is not good enough. You would never take Joselu.
Bro, listen, man, why do we keep comparing fucking
Because that's the
Hogwarts
second
FC,
striker.
bro, the most magical institution in the history of the sport, to Arsenal, bro? Gutter trash, piece of shit Arsenal, bro, to Real Madrid. Why we do that, bro?
All right. Who's second striker behind? I'm telling you, the biggest clubs that you man are trying to get to, like whatever, like Barcelona. You were in the Champions League semis. Who's Lewandowski's backup striker? And but bear in mind, Lewandowski's almost 40. Yeah, they have Lewandowski and what's his name, Ferran Torres. Yeah. You lot probably won't be happy with either of them.
Ansu Fati, probably.
Okay, you see what I mean?
No.
So, and again, no, they're getting carried by Yamal and Rafinha. So, bro, you have to have, just like the Liverpool example, one or two main guys, and the rest of the men have to contribute. Not everyone's gonna be a fucking giant killer. Is my point here, bro.
No, I respect that. I think we've drifted a hell of a long way from the topic of Agenda Watch. I said, I can't remember who I said, bruv. Listen, that one we're just gonna leave the fans in the comments. Did I say Odegaard? Oh, I said Odegaard. Somebody said somebody else. Palmer, yeah.
He said
Sancho.
Sancho. Abs said
Sancho.
Havertz.
Who you know?
Considering how you guys all defended Havertz right now, bruv, we're not even taking a vote on that. It's going to be Havertz for that one, bruv. You guys just went on a 20-minute segue to defend this, keeping this guy on the bench for £250,000 a week. So fair enough. We've got 2 more awards. Before that, we've got honourable mention. We've got the infamous Romelu Lukaku First Touch of the Year award, and that goes to Rasmus Højlund. So congratulations, Rasmus. We've got a chocolate golden boot on its way over to you in Bilbao. And then next up, we've got, now I want to caveat this. It doesn't have to be necessarily like relegation guys or, whatever, but that's enough anyways. It's the Frank de Boer Worst Manager of the Year award. Obviously named after Crystal Palace's worst ever manager, Frank de Boer. There are no nominations. I'm not going to give you guys any sort of hints. I just want to get your off the top of the dome takes. And I want to start off with Big Boots on this one because, I'm sure he's got something interesting to say on this topic. Boots, take it away.
The worst manager, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's got to be... Can it be a guy that got sacked?
Of course.
I'm going with Mr. Erik ten Hag. Bro, he loaded up not one window, not 2 windows, but 3 windows, 700 million worth of trash. Yeah. And this thing that United fans do, and they're doing it again this season, where we just forget about the league, we tank in the league, and we focus on cups, and then we just try and like glorify these cups that we won, that they never, these second-rate cups that they never ever rated before, by the way, that they hated, and then they use those to defend their current managers and their signings or whatever that they have that went wrong. Bro, I don't care. The League Cup that he won, the FA Cup that he won against Coventry when he was 3-0 down, and it was a guy that saved the guys that saved him is the guy that he wanted to ship out, and Harry Maguire, by the way. Yeah, he was trying to force out the club numerous amount of times. Oh, Eric Ten Hag is one of the worst managers, if not the worst manager Man United has ever had in my lifetime, bro. The amount of money this brother spent and the way he's left this club is in absolute tatters, bro. He is a fraud and he's a bum.
Absolutely scathing. Baz, I mean, take away from that. It's going to be hard to stop that kind of character assassination.
Immediately, you know me, I don't follow managers like that. But what I'm basing it off is a squad that should be doing better than they are. Yeah, based on their players. I'm not going to check right now where in the league they are. I just know they're doing terrible. And these lot have had 2 managers this season. Yeah, 15th, bro. United and Tottenham believe these guys. West Ham United, yeah. Bro, who's the first guy they had?
Lopetegui.
I don't know what his stats were at West Ham. And then Potter went in Jan to save the show. He's won 4 in like 20 or whatever his stats are. Yeah? These guys have good players, bro. They have players. Players like Kudos were one of the hottest guys in the world. What's his name in the midfield? Paqueta, Bowen. Man, come on, bro. You got to be doing something, bro. 15th and probably lower if United and Tottenham weren't having the worst seasons on earth, yeah. And the only thing keeping them 2 managers a bit safe is the Europa. I think the one that loses that, his head's on a chopping block, bro. But bro, West Ham cannot be 15th with that talent. They are better than a lot of teams above them. So I'm going to put Potter and Lopetegui, whoever you say his name, together on that chopping board, man.
That's fair, to be honest.
Interesting. The truth, Mr. Abs.
Although that I agree with the Ten Hag situation, I definitely do believe he's been horrible. He's had loads of windows to sort out the club, and it's just went from bad to worse, ruined the legacy there. And honestly, I would have went for that, except a team that I had high hopes for this season, for me, that just hasn't produced, has been Brighton. Brighton came last season. I think they finished 6th last season. They done really, really well. It looked like they were like the feeder club for a lot of, like, they were selling all their players to all the big teams, and they went really, really like strongly last season. I had hopes for them to even break the top 5 this season with how they were going with the whole. But then I just feel like he's had such a fall off, the manager De Zerbi, this season. I was expecting so much more. Like, he went from the Brighton fans saying that he's the next Guardiola.
Man said De Zerbi. You know what Zebri, bro? Translate that in Arabic, yeah. Right now in Arabic.
Bro, he's managing Marseille.
Bro,
yeah, he left last summer, bro. De Zerbi, bro.
Not even that, De Zerbi. He said De Zerbi, bro.
We're keeping that in, by the way.
That one.
We are keeping that in, bro. That's the ball. Actually, you know what? We might have to edit that one out, bro, because it might ruin the brand, bro. I'm not sure if we're gonna decide last minute if that's gonna be kept in the edit. But bro, you're cruising there, and bro. Then you failed the audition, bro.
You know what?
Not bad. It's Fabian Hulzer.
I kind of zoned out. I looked at Budi. I'm like, hold on, something didn't make sense there, bro. And then I see him try not to laugh, And then I'm like, wait, I heard Zobri. And then I was like, this guy's not there, bro. And then I really just ran off the
He's
screen.
not there. Tell her like he left. So he left. To be fair, he left 20th of May last season, and then this new guy took over. What's his name? This Fabian guy.
So last season,
Hey, bro, listen,
Anyway,
listen, man. Pick another guy in it.
Let's move on. We'll stick with Ten Hag. I kind of fucked up now. I was building my case, and you guys fucked it up now by fucking calling this guy out. So let's stick with Ten Hag. Let's move on to the next one.
I'm going to legend, man. That will kill you, man.
Yeah, it's like I thought he was still managing them. But
the Zobri.
Nah, listen, man.
They wear similar colors, I guess.
I'm not even gonna try and big brother, man. I take your point about Ten Hag, but bro, I just think Ruben Amorim has been so much worse, bro. Personally, I think this guy,
final, you can't hate.
Bro, Sky Sports published a graphic today where they were comparing him to Gary Neville's tenure, bro, and they were saying this is maybe the only manager that Gary Neville could teach a thing or two about management, bro. And it's not just the results, because the team is not as bad as it's been so far. Considering when Ten Hag got sacked, they were 5 points away from Champions League. And I think he has won 9 points in 6 months, 7 months, however long it's been. It's the press conferences, bro. I've never seen, bro. Sometimes you just see somebody, bro, and he's the managerial equivalent of the cuck chair, bro. He's just a guy who's just there watching his team get pressed week in, week out, bro. And then he has to go out and talk about, well, I think we're on our way to being the worst Premier League team of all time, maybe. And he did that same press conference week in, week out, day in, day out. I suspect he wants to get fired to get the severance package, yeah. And somehow, somewhere United, because of the fact that this season no Champions League teams drop down, could fumble their way to Europa League. In fact, I mean, we know Spurs' record in finals. They're probably going to win the Champions League, the Europa League, and end up in the Champions League next season. But bro, this guy's an absolute disaster, bro. So I don't expect him to last much longer than early next season. And for that case, I'm out.
I'm gonna go Zerbi.
I think I'm going to go Zerbi as well, bro. I think you are right. He has been the worst Premier League manager this season.
He has been the worst Premier League manager. He couldn't even hold down.
Statistically, I mean, he's won 0 Premier League games this year, so you are right. You pulled out an absolute Hail Mary of a shout.
And he's made a grand total appearance of 0 games as well.
Yeah. No, I think that one wins. On wrap up very quickly, this one's going to be the Titus Bramble worst player of the season. For me, I'm going to start. I'm going to open it. I don't want everybody to steal my guy, and it's going to be. It needs literally no explanation. I don't want to waste too much more time. It's Rasmus Højlund, bruv. He's won 2 awards. It's gonna go with his chocolate golden boot. We're gonna send him a brick. We're just gonna send him a concrete brick, bruv.
That's interesting you say that. For me, I'm definitely going for this season. A player that I'm shocked at how bad they've been is definitely De Zerbi. I don't think that's fucking around. But now, genuinely, hand on heart, I think it's been Raheem Sterling. This player, for me, like, he came in. This is a guy that we forgot about. It's a good one that I said, because it's a guy that came in with such high hopes on loan to Arsenal, and he was going to be the guy that replaced Martinelli on the wing, and he was going to add a huge contribution to the team. And he has not been that guy at all this year. He's been like, I don't know. In my head, before he was signing, I was thinking to myself, all right, cool. I was thinking to myself, cool. He was at Chelsea. It didn't work out there, but there's a world-class player in there somewhere. You know, I was thinking in the City days, how he's balling out like crazy. I was thinking maybe Arteta's the guy to get it back for him. I was thinking they work together. They've got a bit of a history. You know what I mean? I thought, let's bring these boys back together. Bro, he has been trash. He's been hot poo, bro, the whole season. And I've been watching him thinking, can it get any worse? And that's why I put him there.
Bro, there was Raheem, he's always had a fat backs. Yes. No, like, he's always had a fat backs. That's part of his physique. But then for Arsenal, the Chelsea to Arsenal transition, he started to develop a pot belly. And that's the sign. That's the sign, brother. When you get both, khalas, trust me, brother. Wash your hands. Salamu alaikum.
Turn into BBL Drizzy real fast, yeah?
Exactly, brother. And that was a sign for me, bro. His pace weren't there. His brain was still there, by the way. Like, he was functioning. He was trying to do the moves he's good at. But he's too slow, man. So I think too much money for Lucy. He chased the money. Still in London. He had washed his hands from football, I'd say a year or two ago now, man. But you know what I'm going to say? I want to be a bit different. Actually, I think someone who, by the way, if you look at like goals, he still got goals this season. If you look at the conversations he was involved in last year and the year before, and like the past 5 years, he was amongst the best in the world. And he's not the worst player, but I'm looking at this differently. And before I say this guy, Martinelli would have been in for a shout because I had stocks. I told these guys I think Nelly will come good and he'll be good, and he actually let me down. So my stocks stunk with him. But I'm gonna say the guy that I used to say is the best player in the world, Erling Haaland, man. Again, bag goals. I'm not saying he's the worst player. I'm not saying any of that. But based on, I was saying this guy is one of the best, him and Mbappe and all these guys. And it's just, again, maybe because, like you said, Abs, he feeds off what's around him, and City have dropped off all that. But no, but like even at Dortmund, even at City, he showed signs of like bullying, this and that. Disappointment-wise, not the worst player, but disappointment-wise, because I had him up there, I'm going to say Haaland. I think he'll bring it back, but just based on disappointment.
Just on that
quickly,
before.
I'll ask something. Yeah, go on. Because I said
No, I was going to say
I pushed for Haaland. I said
what to push? What do you mean?
I said last season when we were having this conversation about Haaland, I said the take that I said to everyone that went whatever it went was you could take Haaland out and you could stick whoever you want in up top, and that guy will score 30 goals a season. That's exactly what I said. Yeah, I said Haaland was profiting.
Why does no one else do it though? Why does no one else do it? Why does no one else do it in any system?
Everybody's had a terrible season for City this season. Like no one's been good for the club really this year. And so I can't really look at someone and say that, but I'm saying in general, like I just think Haaland has been such a disappointment, and I don't rate him as highly as what everyone was rating him last year. Like the way even when he was on his highs, I looked at him and said, he's a bagsman. He will get you a bunch of goals, but I never thought he was like a elite. You know what I mean? I didn't have him up there with Thierry Henry's and the Luis Suarez's, and even as far as like, I'll go as low as like Harry Kane's when he used to bags for Tottenham. Like I would go as much as that. Like I would actually rather have to, because these are guys that can create their own chances and score. That's where you value a striker, a guy that you can give him a ball and you can create magic out of anything. And for me, Haaland was never that guy. Haaland was a guy that had to wait for stuff to happen for him, and he would just be in the right place, right time, and he'll finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's really good at that, bro. Because but he's in these conversations and he's got 21 league goals at this moment. So let's not get too carried away.
I tried to be different, man.
But I think my guy, I think this is the worst signing in the Premier League, and I think arguably he's been worse than Højlund. Yeah, and I can't believe my club for once fleeced someone. £30 million for Eddie Nketiah, is one of the worst deals of the summer. That guy is so arse. Every time I watch Palace, bro, he comes on and he has an absolute stinker. Bro, he's so bad. I don't know what they saw. I don't know how we got 30 million for him. He's never scored more than 6 league goals in his career.
Yeah, bro. Smelly, bro.
This guy is arse, bro. He's like, they've replaced Andre Ayew, whatever that guy is that they had, the other trash guy, with another one. They regenerated one, bro.
They're getting him back next season, by the way. They're getting Andre Ayew next season. It's like a divorce custody, bro. Swansea get him for one season, then Palace get him for the next. So he'll be back next year, bro. He's got to spend the year with daddy, and then he goes back to mummy, bro.
But yeah, man.
But you're right, bro. And this season, this weekend, sorry, when Palace won, and big up Palace for winning it, obviously. I was getting like, oh, I can't believe Eddie Nketiah was for the trophy before Arteta. Bro, keep that trophy, bruv. Keep that trophy, bruv. Have it, and thank you for the cash, bruv, because you know my feelings for that guy. Listen, this one's not a debate. I didn't even think about that one. Haaland's obviously not going to win it, although I understand the kind of abstract thinking Baz is going to try and go for, and we've seen it across the season. We respect it. He's got an alternative view on things, and we appreciate that. He's in many ways the anti-Drogba, Haaland, because 8 finals, 0 goals compared to Drogba. He used to score like with the ponytail. He's literally the anti Drogba. But look, he's an absolute elite tier bagsman. Whatever, we respect it. But bro, it's Netanyahu, brother, and I think on that bombshell, we appreciate your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, your TikToks. Views, all that malarkey, bro, that people normally say, and we'll be back on the 32nd of February, bro. I don't know, bro. Whenever we get a chance to reconvene and chinwag. But thanks for participating, boys.
Peace.